Muslim groups visiting Texas schools handing out Qurans and hijabs, substitute teachers using class time to pray to Allah, and is there a new all-inclusive Muslim compound, Epic City 2.0 on the horizon? Welcome back to Come and Take It. All right, got a lot to get into. Boy, there's a lot going on with the Islamification of Texas and this country on the horizon. Everyone is on high alert, and they should be, because let me tell you what has gone on, what has transpired just within the last week here in the state of Texas. So last week, a group called Why Islam, an organization called Why Islam, was allowed to set up a table in a common area inside of Wylie East High School during lunchtime, and they were just like passing out copies of the Quran. They're just like, hey, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Muslim, you can be a Muslim. Let me explain to you why Islam is so great. They were passing out pamphlets on understanding Sharia. By the way, pretty sure I understand it. I am well-versed in Sharia. Hate it. Hate it. Like, I don't actually need a pamphlet to explain to me why I should enjoy Sharia. I don't. I hate it. No, thank you. That's a hard pass for me.
Hard pass.
Don't like the stoning. Don't like the non-freedom of speech. Don't like the honor killings. No, thank you. That's a hard no for me on Islam and everything related to it.
Not quite my tempo.
And another cute thing they were doing was offering hijabs to female students. Now, I'm going to play for you the leader of the Republican club at that school, who obviously was there, got handed all of these materials, and he explained what happened. He explained the situation. Watch.
Okay, so I'm Marco. I'm the president of the high school Republicans at Wylie East High School. And today there was an organization called Why Islam, and they were giving hijabs to girls out throughout the high school, and they were giving out Qurans, and they also had pamphlets about Sharia law and other Islamic things, and they were giving out these bags. And I had a discussion with the women that were there, and we're trying to understand what's going on.
And it was during the school day, right?
Yes, it was during lunch.
During lunch.
And we typically have colleges come out, where we have our clubs have tables, but we've never had a faith group, to my understanding.
Wow. So apparently this was done through the Muslim Student Association, partnering with that organization to celebrate World Hijab Day.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yay! World Hijab Day, which I don't understand why we need to acknowledge World Hijab Day in this country. I don't know why that is a thing that anyone in America should be celebrating. But apparently, I have it on good authority that there's a lot of hijabophobia going around. That's why you're supposed to celebrate World Hijab Day. You got to draw attention. You got to break the barriers against hijabophobia. Now, I would also say that nobody is afraid of a stupid piece of fabric on your head. Like, nobody's actually afraid of the fabric. Nobody's afraid of the sheet, okay? They're more so afraid of the religion that forces you to wear the hijab, because that religion is also happens to be synonymous with oppression, honor killings, stoning to death, acid attacks, just things like that. And that religion is the one that's infiltrating our country in what is so obviously a hostile takeover in order to eventually implement Sharia law. So yeah, I'd say actually the fear is pretty rational. The fear is not the stupid fabric that you're wearing on your head. The fear is the religion. That's the actual problem. Just to be clear, there's no hijabophobia going on in this country. So the school district quickly released a statement. This caught like wildfire. Actually, my friend was the person who was interviewing that student, and she sent it to me, and myself and a couple other people put it out, and the school district was very quick to release a statement, and they said, oops, it was an oopsie. Oh, gosh, our bad. It was just an oopsie. Now, you'll notice that the oopsie never seems to happen to the Christian organizations. Like, they never get the benefit of the oopsies. Conservative organizations never get the benefit of the oopsies, but the oopsie just so happened to benefit the Islamic organization whose main goal is to whitewash what Islam actually is. Because if you go to this Why Islam website, so there's some they're like, let me explain to you why there's gender equality in Islam. And it's like, guys, anyone who knows anything about the religion knows that that's not the case. They just want to make it sound really fun and super inclusive and not at all scary. Actually, here's why you should do it. So it just so happened, the oopsie happened to benefit the Islamic organization, right?
Just a coincidence.
So the school district responded and they were like, oh, we became aware, we began an investigation. The investigation is ongoing, but we have confirmed that district protocols for guest speakers and student club interactions were not followed. And to clarify, outside organizations are not permitted to distribute materials to students without prior approval from campus and district administration. Guests may only speak with official student clubs with prior approval and may address only students who have signed parent permission forms on file. And the organization did not have permission to distribute the materials and did not receive approval to speak with students outside of the club. The club did not submit the required guest speaker request form. That's a lot of oopsies, guys. That's a lot of oopsies. Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of failures on behalf of the school. Who is going to be accountable for that? Because you know what else is interesting? You know why I'm not quite buying that it was just a whole bunch of oopsies? Because the principal of that school, very same school, last year, in fact, posted a virtue signaling picture on social media wearing a hijab on World Hijab Day. Oh, there she is in all her glory. She said with the caption, yesterday our MSA, Muslim Student Association, created an opportunity for everyone to experience the beauty of wearing a hijab on World Hijab Day. I loved this experience. Like, first of all, lady, it's just a piece of fabric on your head. You can calm down. I don't know why you're like hard selling this so much. It is a piece of it's probably hot. And it flattens your hair. Like, you don't need to love this experience in all caps. That's weird. You can calm down with that. All right. So I'm supposed to believe it was just a silly mistake. It was just a silly mistake this year from the principal that does that. That smells. That stinks to high heaven. So at the end of last week, the district announced that there is a staff member who was put on leave while they investigate, but they won't say who. Not good enough. Parents need to know who it was that didn't follow the procedures. And if there were that, I mean, again, I read you the statement from the district. It was like, outside organizations are not supposed to be here without prior approval. They didn't get it. Guests are only supposed to talk to the student association, the student club. That didn't happen. Permission slip didn't happen. Oh, and on top of that, the club didn't even submit the required guest speaker request form. That's a lot of mistakes to happen in order for those people to be there and hand out hijabs and Qurans to the students. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of problems that occurred to a campus that has a principal that is virtue signaling wearing a hijab last year for World Hijab Day. It's just weird.
That seems suspicious.
So just know, like, your taxpayer money is going to public schools that are going to indoctrinate your students into Islam and then be like, oopsie, we didn't mean to. It was our bad. But don't worry, the staff member who we're not going to name, who's going to remain anonymous, is on leave. No word on whether or not they're going to lose their job. No word on whether or not, like, they're going to have any accountability. No word on whether or not we're going to punish the student club that didn't submit the required forms. Just know there's an anonymous person who is on leave. Like, that, they expect you to just forget about that. They expect you to just not put together and not connect the dots and just be like, oh, well, we'll take the district's word at it. I'm telling you guys, this stinks. Don't let it go. Okay.
Real Texan. I hope you'll sit down with Texas Scorecard every Sunday as we visit with real Texans who are doing real things to make the Lone Star State shine even brighter. We're going to be talking to activists and politicians, but we're also going to be talking with men and women who are shaping business in Texas and driving for a better culture.
Now, that just happened in Wylie. Let's move over to Plano. It's happening in the entire state. I told you there's like multiple different moving parts when it comes to the Islamification of this state. Let's move over to Plano, which, by the way, Plano ISD, I graduated from. This This story is so near and dear to my heart. This is not the Plano ISD that I grew up in. This is an unrecognizable school district. I've had to go to their school board meetings to tell them, hey, maybe you should not have sexually explicit literature in your school libraries for young children. That's not a thing I ever thought I'd have to do. Here's another thing I never thought that I would see in Plano Independent School District, where your taxpayer dollars are going to pay substitute teachers to, well, do nothing, essentially, to ignore the actual students because it's prayer time, guys. We got our 5 prayers a day. And guess what? Screw the kids. I'm going to bend down and I'm going to give my praise to Allah. Yep. That happened. My friends over at Citizens Defending Freedom sent an extremely concerning video of a substitute. What you're about to watch is I realize she's small. She has a small frame. She's not a student. This is a substitute teacher who clearly is more concerned with bending down to pray to Allah than even watching the kids.
Actually, no. In my family, yeah.
Two problems here. Number one, the fact that the student was actually able to document this is incredible because the state passed a law banning phones from being used in schools during the classroom, which I get. I get the intention. I get the motivation. I'm on board with that. You don't want it to be a distraction. But how are the kids supposed to be able to prove stuff like this? How are the kids supposed to be able to prove bad actors in the schools? Bad behavior on behalf of the teachers? Teachers just Allah. More important. Okay? Sorry. Got to give all my attention to Allah during the time that I'm getting paid by taxpayer money to substitute teach. I'm not actually going to teach. I am going to collect the paycheck. How are the students supposed to document this? Because the student couldn't film the entire thing because they have to be scared that they're going to get in trouble for having the phones. So there has to be something. There has to be something in place that protects the students so that they are able to get some sort of evidence, some sort of documentation that there are bad things happening in the classrooms. That needs to be addressed by the Texas legislature. I understand the intention of the banning cell phones, and I am on board, generally speaking, but what are we going to do? Are there going to be classrooms with camera? Is every classroom going to have a camera? We just need to make sure, can parents access the camera? Can parents access the data? We just need to make sure that there is transparency here. Okay. But this is the most obvious thing that's wrong with that. 30 minutes? 30 minutes. That woman got paid to be there and teach. The actual audacity. The actual audacity of these people. And anyone, by the way, who wants to make it about freedom of religion, I realize that is a tactic that the Muslims, they use. Which, by the way, is hilarious because the Muslims use the tactic. They're going to hit you on freedom of religion. Do you think that they believe in freedom of religion? Of course not. The entire goal is to create an Islamic form of governance. So it's laughable to allow them to use freedom of religion against you, okay? But freedom of religion, give me a break. If you want to spend your time praying 5 times a day, don't be a substitute teacher. You have one job. It is to teach. If that interferes with your prayer schedule, find a new job, preferably one where taxpayers aren't paying you to do nothing. You should probably find one where taxpayers are not funding you to just stand there and then bend down and praise Allah for 30 minutes while the kids are just hanging out talking. That's not acceptable. That's not okay. I know. We're not allowed to say these things. We're not allowed to say these things. They're very offensive.
How dare you?
They're very offensive. You're not supposed to be offended that kids are not learning because substitute teachers are just taking their prayer sessions in the middle of class. You're not supposed to be offended by that. You are supposed to be offended by me saying, can't do that. I don't care about freedom of religion. That's not an argument here. You're not allowed to say that. It's not politically correct. I don't care anymore. You shouldn't care anymore. Nobody should care anymore about these arguments. Honestly, I never did care.
I don't really care, Margaret. I don't want that person in my country.
But Christianity doesn't even get a sliver, not a teeny tiny smidge of the accommodations that these people receive on a daily basis. So spare me. I'm just like, I have no tolerance for it anymore. Okay. Islamists are actively invading my state. And you think I care at all what people call me? I don't care at all. I'm trying to save the state for my kids. Call me Islamophobic, call me racist, call me xenophobic. I don't actually care because I have eyeballs and I can see what is happening. I can see what's going on right in front of me. I listen to the Muslims when they tell me that they're coming here to outpopulate us and take over our jobs and conquer. I hear them. I see that they're trying to build their little Islamic enclaves and no-go zones. Their little Muslim compounds. Like, I see what is happening. I don't care what you call me anymore. I'm going to do what I can to save this state. Which brings me to my final incident in the Islamification of Texas wrap-up just from last week. You may have thought that they were done at Epic City over in Plano. No, of course not. If you're noticing Epic City, expect that there are 10 more Epic Cities happening very quietly in sleepy little areas where people probably would not be paying attention, and expect it. They're not going to stop. So now the rural, sleepy Kaufman County in the state of Texas has some new land development interests. Yes, there are some very curious interest in Kaufman County, which again, I mean, this is East Texas. This is rural. This is where nobody would expect. But curiously enough, according to the Daily Caller, in 2022, this little story dates back to 2022. A company by the name of Kaufman Solar bought up a giant parcel of land, and no one batted an eyelash. No one thought anything of it until they now learned that a mysterious buyer from the Middle East is trying to buy up 2,000 plus acres right next to that solar panel farm to build a sustainable city. I want to build a sustainable city. So this started gaining traction after someone posted on Facebook, said, serious question, maybe one of you all can help answer this or maybe be made aware. A few weeks ago, I was told that a GeoCity was coming to Kaufman, Texas. This would be funded by Saudi Arabia investors, of what I was told. They plan on bringing over 20,000 plus people into this giant city they're making. Now, this could just be a rumor, but it also could be true. I would love to be educated. And so she goes on to say, I've just heard it. Can someone please inform me what is happening in our sleepy little county where no one would expect to just drop in 20,000 plus immigrants who are not from here and are in fact from the Middle East. Like, we're a little touchy about this in Texas at this point, and we have every right to be. We're a little touchy about all of these people trying to migrate into our state and set up like Sharia compounds. That makes us a little touchy. All right. So there was apparently a county commissioner court meeting that took place a few weeks ago where a lawyer came and gave notice that he was formally requesting a public hearing on approving 3 new water districts for this particular firm who wants to buy up this land. It was a very interesting exchange. Watch.
Number 15, Mr. Ross Winstead. Discuss, consider scheduling a public hearing by resolution regarding petitions for creation of Kaufman County Freshwater District number 8-10 and related districts for a single project located in unincorporated area of the county, and issue notice of date of time of public hearing. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Judge, and to the rest of the commissioners. I'm here to answer any questions you may have on behalf of this item. Ultimately, the action that we are requesting today, these are petitions that have been, I believe, previously sent to the court to establish its Kaufman County freshwater supply districts numbers 8, 9, and 10 out in the unincorporated area of Kaufman County. As it did state there in the agenda item, overall would be kind of one singular project just split between 3 districts. The action requested today is to set a public hearing for February 10th of 2026 at the regularly scheduled meeting on that date. I believe that's a Tuesday as well. This is not being presented today to request any granting or denial of the petitions themselves. Under the Water Code in Chapter 53. Once these petitions have been presented, the only next step is to, again, schedule the time and date of the hearing and to publish notice of hearing. And we, of course, are here to assist in any way that we can with the posting of the notice pursuant to state law.
Of course, that would be up to you to notify and put notice in local papers.
Yes, sir. So under the Water Code, the required postings, one must be on the courthouse door for at least 10 days prior to the hearing itself, and then it must be posted publicly within 4 locations within the property of each district. So that would be 12 locations total. And we could also publish notice in a newspaper as well. I will add that is not required under the Water Code, but to the extent that will assist with notifying the public, we're happy to go ahead and pursue that as well. We can reach out to the Kaufman Herald. I know we have a good relationship with them, get something published immediately.
I just think it's important that the local folks know what's going on.
I agree,
Yeah.
Judge. Yes,
Okay.
sir. And we can commit to go ahead and publishing that in addition to the postings as well.
Anything more on this edition, what it's going to be? The request for the freshwater district?
Sure. Unfortunately, not at this time. I think long-term would be a mixed-use plan. It is a sizable tract of land out there, approximately 2,300 acres. But again, no finalized plans or plats at this time. Nothing certainly to present to the court, nor has anything been submitted. Of course, anything that is submitted will comply with any existing regulations and statutes.
So this is just to start the hearing process?
That's correct, yes, sir. Just to schedule a hearing for February 10th following the appropriate posting and additional publication of the notice.
Now, it turns out a little bit later in that court hearing, the attorney confirmed that the potential developer is C Holding. Now, this is a Dubai company. This is a UAE, like it is a Middle Eastern company. So what do we make of this? What do we make of this new interested buyer who wants to buy up all of this, like 20,000 plus people? They're just going to put right in here and like, why? Who? We have some questions, right? So this exploded here in the state of Texas because we are done. We're done. We're done with all of this takeover. We're done with the hostile takeover. We don't want it. We're Texas, and maybe some of our officials are wimpy babies, but there are a lot of us who are willing to fight. We're willing to fight tooth and nail to keep our state because we are like, this is Texas. I was born and raised here. There's a lot that I will do to save my state. But since this has exploded, this is what's like the plot thickens, I guess. The attorneys have asked to delay that public hearing that they had just asked for. And there's some conversations going on because now the congressman for that district is getting involved. And so here was that announcement in the commissioner's court, because you may recall today is the 10th. It was supposed to happen. That public hearing was supposed to happen today. But last week, they made this announcement that they were delaying it.
I know that next week we were supposed to have a hearing on the freshwater district for the sustainable city. I've been visiting with Congressman Gooden and myself with the principal involved here in Dallas, and they have asked to pull that from the agenda for next week. They will be coming later with a full set of plans so that people can ask questions, and any questions will be answered at that time, and we'll go wherever in the county we need to go because it affects the entire county. And last night when I spoke with the man in Dallas, he said they would go as far, because I know some people are worried about it being Muslim community, and he guarantees it's not. And they would put in the deeds that there will be no mosque ever built on the location. So anyway, so that will not be on the agenda for next week.
It's weird. It smells weird. It's a little fishy. I mean, I hope that they follow through with like, no, actually, it's not that. It's this. And it's just totally normal. They're like, we just want to build for senior citizens. I mean, I don't know. But the fact that it is Dubai money, the fact that it is Middle Eastern money, the fact that it is C Holdings, it's weird, guys. It's weird. So be on high alert. The trend in this state is that Islam is coming and Islam is trying to take over. But we have to be vigilant. Like, can you imagine if people were not attending these commissioners' court meetings? I realize that they're really boring, but we have to be watching. We have to be attending. We have to be active. We have to, especially, we have to be vigilant in electing strong leaders, strong officials. This is all a very well-funded and well-coordinated plan to take over the West. It's exactly why it is so important. We have to participate in our local elections, from county judge, commissioner's court, county commissioner, mayor, city council, school board. Like, all of these things matter, because if you have weak leaders, especially at the local level where all of these things are getting approved, you are really in trouble. We have to make sure that we have officials who will not sell out and who are not bought and paid for. So we will continue to keep an eye on that in Kaufman County and see how that plays out. But it's weird. It's weird, and Kaufman County deserves answers. In fact, the entire state of Texas and the country deserves answers. All right. So we'll leave it here for you guys this week. Who knows? Golly, it's like drinking from a fire hose since the beginning of the year. So who knows what's going to happen? But we'll sort it all out next time on Come and Take It.